Good morning, I'm Paolo del Rosario. Welcome to Weather HQ. Today's headlines. Typhoon Leon is gaining more strength as it traverses the East Philippine Sea. Signal number 3 is up in Batanes and eastern portions of Babuyan Islands. More on today's forecast. A number of senators laud the Supreme Court's decision to temporarily stop PhilHealth's transfer of its excess funds to the Finance Department. They say the fund should never be used for non-health related matters. In China, heavy downpour brought about by Tropical Storm Trami causes flooding in the island province of Hainan. And how do you convert agricultural wastes into more useful products? Joining us later is the founder of Everything Green, Camille Albarracin, to speak about her enterprise. Let's take a look at the weather today. Typhoon Leon is gaining more strength as it traverses the East Philippine Sea. As of 5 o'clock this morning, the eye of the Typhoon Leon was last located 395 kilometers east of Calayan, Cagayan. Now, as it gains more strength, it has maximum sustained winds of up to 165 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 205 kph. Now, as Typhoon Leon approaches the Philippine landmass, the winds generated by the typhoon impact most parts of Luzon. Pag-asa raised signal number 3 in Luzon, particularly in Batanes, the eastern portions of Babuyan Islands. Now, these areas should expect winds of up to 117 kph and intense torrential rains in at least 18 hours. Residents of these areas must watch out for the passage of the eye of the typhoon. When the eye of the typhoon hits the community, there will be a sudden improvement of weather, but please always stay safe on shelter because the worst weather will resume again after 1 to 2 hours. Signal number 2 is raised in the rest of Babuyan Islands, the northern and eastern portions of Isabela, Apayao, Kalinga, the northern and eastern portions of Abra, the eastern portions of the Mountain Province, and Ilocos Norte. These areas will experience strong winds of up to 88 kph and heavy to intense rainfall within 24 hours. Residents, please prepare as these winds may bring light to moderate damage to the exposed communities. Signal number 1 is raised in the rest of Isabela, Quirino, Nueva Vizcaya, the rest of Mountain Province, Ifugao, Benguet, the rest of Abra, Ilocos Sur, La Union, Pangasinan, Nueva Ecija, Aurora, the northeastern portion of Tarlac, northern portion of Bulacan, the northern portion of Quezon, including the Polillo Islands, Camarines Norte, the northern portion of Camarines Sur, the northern and eastern portions of Catanduanes. Winds of up to 61 kph may be expected, as well as intermittent rains within 36 hours. Now, there is a possibility that wind signals number 4 and 5 will be hoisted, especially in Batanes and Babuyan Islands, depending on the development of Typhoon Leon in the upcoming hours. Now, based on Pag-asa's latest track, Typhoon Leon is forecasted to move closer to the extreme northern Luzon, particularly in Batanes early Thursday morning or noon. Now, there is a possibility that Leon may hit Batanes as it travels the East Philippine Sea and continues to intensify rapidly. The storm may gain more strength and become a super typhoon before it approaches Batanes. Now, it also may hit southern Taiwan before its way out from the Philippine area of responsibility by Thursday evening or Friday morning. Let's take a look at the weather today. As today, residents in Batanes, Cagayan, including Babuyan Islands, Ilocos Norte, Apayao, Kalinga, Abra, and Isabela, will experience stormy weather. Flooding or landslides are possible due to intense, at times torrential rains. Now, heavy to intense rains with gusty winds are expected over in Aurora, Nueva Ecija, Quezon, Camarines Norte, Camarines Sur, Catanduanes, and the rest of Cagayan Valley, the Cordillera Administrative Region, and of course, the Ilocos region. Its trough or its extension will bring cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms in Metro Manila and the rest of Luzon, as well as parts of Visayas. Residents in these areas should prepare for moderate to heavy rains. For Mindanao, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers are expected due to the localized thunderstorms. Now let's take a look at the sea conditions. As for sea conditions, strong to storm force winds are prevailing or expected to affect the northern and eastern seaboards of northern Luzon. Now waves in these coastal waters are expected to possibly reach up to 10 meters. Rains with gusty winds will also cause waves of up to 5 meters high in the seaboards of the northern and western seaboards of northern Luzon and the eastern seaboards of central Luzon. The eastern seaboards of southern Luzon, Camarines Norte, and Catanduanes will experience rough to very rough sea conditions with waves of up to 4.5 meters high. For our sea travelers, having these sea conditions is very dangerous for you. So make sure that when you do venture out to sea, don't. All are advised to stay in port or to find shelter and safe harbor as quickly as possible until stormy weathers are gone. Now, due to the strong winds generated by Typhoon Leon, Pag-asa has issued a storm surge warning in Batanes and Cagayan. A storm surge of up to 3 meters is possible in the coastal waters of these areas. Damage to communities and coastal marine infrastructure, disruptions to all marine-related activities, and possible river flooding are all possible due to the storm surge. Residents near coastal areas are advised to evacuate and marine activities must be canceled. To know more about what to expect with Typhoon Leon, we have on the phone Pag-asa weather specialist Veronica Torres. Good morning, Veronica.
Good morning, Sir Paolo, and all of our audience.
Veronica, Pag-asa has already raised signal number 3 in Batanes and Babuyan Islands, and as Typhoon Leon continues to gain more strength, what more should we expect today and in the next coming days in terms of the winds?
So for today and also sa mga susunod na araw, as of now, pinakamataas nga, tama po kayo, signal number 3. Pero kung titingnan nga po natin yung track ni Leon, meron dong area or may part na posibleng ito ay lumakas at maging isang super typhoon. So it is around, pagpalapit ito sa may Batanes area, which is around Thursday. So if ever na maging lumakas nga ito at umabot sa super typhoon category, hindi rin ruled out yung pagtaas natin ng signal number 5.
Veronica, with regards to the rainfall brought about by Typhoon Leon, what could residents expect with regards to the possible heavy rains?
For the possible heavy rains, we released a weather advisory. This is as of 5 a.m. today, so we're expecting for today intense to torrential rains. It's more than 200 millimeters of rain over Batanes and Cagayan, including Babuyan Islands. Heavy to intense, 100 to 200 millimeters of rain over Ilocos Norte, Apayao, Isabela, and Occidental Mindoro. Meanwhile, moderate to heavy rains is expected over Ilocos Sur, Abra, Kalinga, Benguet, La Union, Pangasinan, Calamian Islands, Occidental Mindoro, and Antique. For tomorrow, we're also expecting intense to torrential rains over Batanes, heavy to intense rains over Babuyan Islands, and moderate to heavy rains over mainland Cagayan, Occidental Mindoro, Ilocos Norte, Zambales, Bataan, Cavite, Batangas, and Calamian Islands. And on Friday, moderate to heavy rains is expected over Batanes area. It will be updated at 11 a.m. today.
Thank you very much, Veronica. But of course, Veronica, in the latest press briefing, na-mention po na may posibilidad ng Typhoon Leon may intensify into a super typhoon before its approach to Batanes. What type of scenarios are we expecting kung naging super typhoon si Leon?
So tama po kayo, nabanggit nga natin sa ating press briefing na posible nga po na itong si Leon ay maging isang super typhoon habang palapit ito sa may Batanes area. So asahan nga po natin malakas na mga hangin kapag naka-super typhoon kasi is more than 185 kilometers per hour. So kung napakalapit ito sa Batanes at ito ay mag-super typhoon, posible ang signal number 5 at napakataas po ng chance na yun. So more on yung mga kababayan natin kailangan mag-ingat sa mga malalakas na hangin and then kahit naman po may malakas na hangin, meron din tayong nilabas na mga weather advisory kaya mag-ingat din tayo sa mga malalakas po na mga pag-ulan.
Veronica, a while ago we reported that the Typhoon Leon may exit the Philippine area of responsibility by either Thursday evening or Friday morning. Now, just because it exits the Philippine area of responsibility, maapektuhan pa ba rin ang northern portions of Luzon?
Opo, tama po kayo, kahit around the Thursday or Friday ay lumabas na ito ng ating PAR, yung mga malalakas na mga pag-ulan or yung posible pa rin maranasan. Posible yung trough nito or yung extension, magdala pa rin ng mga paulan, mostly sa may extreme northern Luzon area.
Maraming salamat, Pag-asa Weather Specialist Veronica Torres. Right, coming up, I'll speak with the founder and greennovator of Everything Green, Camille Albarracin, on how she successfully converted agricultural waste into more useful products. Stay tuned. You're watching Weather HQ. Welcome back. You're still watching Weather HQ. The question is, how do you turn agricultural waste into more useful products? Joining us now in the studio is Everything Green's founder and greennovator, Camille Albarracin. Good morning, Camille. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning, Sir Paolo, and thank you for having me as well.
All right. So first off, I love the products that you have here in front of us,
Yes.
but I want to get to know more about you first because it's really a waste conversion journey. And if I'm not mistaken, you started out in the hospitality industry for an X amount of years. So, wala natin sabihin kung gaano katagal. Pero, what convinced you to start this journey?
Yeah, while I was in the hospitality industry, I have witnessed the distressful amount of waste generated by the hospitality industry. In fact, usually for a night stay, the guests accumulate at least 1 kilo of waste. So with that, I had that bigger purpose of being part of a zero waste solution by providing greener alternatives for the hospitality industry.
So you work with a lot of hotels right now, if I'm not mistaken, with regards to that.
Yes.
All right, so let's take a look at the products that you have here and, of course, who you're working with in terms of creating this. First of all, we have a few of those pieces right here. Can you tell us first, what are they made of?
Okay.
How are they made? And, of course, who do you work with?
Yeah, okay. So basically, all our products are made out of agricultural waste, such as abaca jute, and at the back we utilize coconut coir, and even this one, and we work with various community partners, such as the community in Quezon Province and in Bicol. So we are actually a social eco-enterprise, meaning these are all community-based, and we work with communities, various communities from the grassroots level, and then we also collaborate with them, do projects with them so that we have to bridge their products to the hospitality, even 5-star hotels, not just in the Philippines, but even for export, for the export market as well.
Oh, so we're taking a look at all of this. How big is the setup with regards to how many people actually produce these materials, these products for you, and of course, everything from processing to the tail end?
Yes, so we are actually part of the circular economy. So it's biocircular, meaning we work with the farmers, from the farmers alone. So we're working actually with 3 communities, and then with the greennovators and the artisans, the footwear artisans as well. So we have a total, we're actually working with a total of 18 partner communities, including Bicol, Sorsogon. So we've been working with around 80 to 100 various artisans and greennovators, and including farmers. So it's been quite a journey, because since we were around pre-pandemic and until today, we had to thrive and really meet and continue our mission to sustainability and innovation.
So what are the challenges that you face with regards to this? Because obviously, it feels like you're disrupting things in an interesting way.
Yeah, actually, at first, our main challenge was really to convince hotels to do an eco-switch, meaning that hopefully they would be enticed to convert the usual white slippers and utilize a more greener alternative slippers. But later on, we realized that they also are into sustainability. So the awareness level is already there. And the challenge now is actually production because we have big orders coming from various hotels, even in abroad. And production is now the main challenge. That's why we are also in partnership with various government institutions in terms of the technology, in terms of getting the word out. But I think it's more about the innovation and technology because what we're doing is really a disruptor and really being part of the startup ecosystem and changing how we do things and how our clients or our market would also adapt to this type of innovation that we have.
So it's not really a question of demand, is it? Because the demand is there.
Yeah, there is a demand. It's really more about the production and really having that certain technology that we're also developing. That's why good thing the government agencies and other LGUs are also there to support. But we need more support in terms of really efficiency in terms of operations and production.
When you talk about this being a sustainable, obviously it is a work focusing on sustainability, but then how do you make this business sustainable as well?
Okay, for that to become more sustainable, aside from the grants that we usually get, I think it's really about focusing on how to have, we already have that product market fit. But I think it's beyond that, but it's more of also looking into how can the demand or the market also sustain their orders and keep up with to be competitive, even at the global landscape. So the Philippines, we have this Grinelas as the first Philippine green alternative hotels ever. But how to become competitive with other neighboring countries who has similar products. So I think that's a question of how to become more efficient, productive, and to become really competitive in terms of cost pricing. So I think that's a sustainability part of the business side.
Camille, I wish we had more time, but then for those who are interested in knowing more about your company and your products, how can they reach you?
Yeah, they can definitely reach me through our social media pages. It's through the Everything Green PH at Instagram and at Facebook. Our website is still on development, but we hope that it will be soon again. And you can also reach us. We're based actually here in Quezon City as well. So, yes.
She is the Everything Greens founder and green innovator, Camille Albarracin. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat, Sir Paolo, for having me. Thank you so much.
All right, so global weather is up next. Keep it here. You're still watching BNC, the Bulyanari News Channel. Welcome back. You're still watching Weather HQ. Let's take a look at the global weather. Torrential rains from a cold front hit southeastern Spain on Tuesday, flooding roads and prompting authorities to advise residents to stay at home. Spain's state meteorological agency, AMET, issued a red alert in Valencia and a high alert in parts of Andalusia. Heavy rainfall caused a train derailment with no injuries reported. Firefighters rescued trapped drivers in Althira, where rainfall exceeded 90 millimeters in an hour. Schools and essential services were suspended in Carle and nearby areas. Local emergency services enlisted a UME, a specialized military rescue unit, to assist with crop damage in Utiel Recnia. In Andalusia, a hailstorm in El Hido damaged greenhouses and vehicles, while the Guadalquivir River overflowed in Alora. It required 14 rescues, with Alora receiving 160 millimeters of rainfall. It looks like the rains in Valencia will continue today until the next 3 days. Take a look at the 3-day weather forecast here. Cloudy skies with moderate to heavy rains are expected, so if you're planning any activities in that area, postpone it first and keep an eye on the rain forecast so you can plan your days ahead. Moving on to Asia. For 3 consecutive days in Hainan, China, they have been experiencing heavy rainfall due to the recent impact of Tropical Storm Trami. The downpour has led to significant flooding in various regions, disrupting daily life and affecting local communities. Footage showed flooded roads and emergency crews rescuing residents in Lingshui County. Sanya, known for its beaches, recorded almost 295 millimeters of rain in just one day, marking the heaviest October rainfall since the year 2000. China faces increasing challenges on its flood prevention infrastructure as record rains disrupt cities, agriculture, and local economies. In July alone, natural disasters resulted in economic losses of almost $11 billion, largely due to heavy rains and flooding from Typhoon Gami. Trami already weakened and is now a low-pressure area. Residents in Sanya will have a little break from the rain, but do expect cloudy skies or gloomy weather for the next 3 days, and the temperature may reach up to 31 degrees Celsius. And that's Weather HQ for today. Join me again tomorrow, whatever the weather, here on BNC, the Billionaire News Channel. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Have a great morning.